Shelene Bryan is a former Hollywood producer and founder of skip1.org. In her best-selling book, Love, Skip, Jump, she says, our response to being loved by God is to give love to others. Welcome, Shelene.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Now, I must first ask you, your book, the title of your book is Love, Skip, Jump, Start Living the Adventure of Yes. What's the thinking behind this title? What's that about, Love, Skip, Jump?
Well, love is definitely the motivation. I believe when we skip for someone who can do absolutely nothing for us in return, that we'll never regret that. But ultimately, God wants us to jump all in. If it's my marriage or as a mom or a sister or a friend or a neighbor, not to just halfway do that.
Now, you certainly jumped all in because you visited Africa because you were sponsoring some children. What did you find once you jumped into that world?
Yes. I was having a party one night, actually, the true story is at my home, and I had the cute little photos of the children we sponsor in Africa on my refrigerator, like most people probably do. And I was having a party, and a girlfriend of mine invited a woman I'd never met, and she pointed at my refrigerator and she said, "You fell for that? How do you know those kids aren't 40 and they're just taking your money?" I go, "I don't. I guess I'm just having faith that the money's getting there." She goes, "Yeah, I never really fall for that." So that night I go to bed and I said, "Honey, Bryce, I want to go to Africa. I want to see where our 25 bucks a month's going." And he's like, "Cool, let's spend $3,000, so you can find out where 25 bucks a month's going." I go, "I'm serious. What if it's fake and we're telling our children we're sponsoring these kids? I could be paying for some guy's Porsche." So we got all the information, all the shots. We told no one we were coming because I was going to be Diane Sawyer. I'm going to bust this thing open if it's fake. And the night before our trip, my big, Mission Impossible trip, my husband gets deathly ill.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, it's a sign we shouldn't go. And he goes, "No, you still need to do this. God obviously wants to take a vacation with you, honey." He goes, "You don't like to go anywhere but the day spa." And I'm thinking, you're going to send your only wife to the other side of the world? Like, who's going to carry my luggage, But I did. I woke up the next morning and I ripped those little pictures off the refrigerator. And I flew from LAX to Heathrow, from Heathrow to Entebbe, and I showed up in this little village called Gaba in Uganda. And I said, "Hi, I'm from America, and I came to meet my two kids, AR212 and GR479, like these cuties."
Oh.
And this gracious woman said, "Okay, follow me."
Wow.
2 miles later, she hiked me into the back lot of one of my movie sets. I mean, mud huts the size of my walk-in closet with a bad-looking sheet for a front door. And she goes, "This is Omega's house." And that's my little girl on my refrigerator. She goes, "Go ahead, go in." And as I pull this sheet back to go inside, this little girl darts at me and she goes, "Mzungu," which means white, okay? But at the time, I'm thinking girlfriend saying "angel." This white girl just dropped from the sky, And I didn't recognize her because she'd grown from her little photo. So I said, "Omega?" And she goes, "Yes." I go, "I'm Shelene." She goes, "I know." And as I'm holding her like I would my little daughter, Brooke, I'm thinking she's real, 25 bucks a month. And then my eye catches the Christmas card photo of my family embedded in her mud wall.
Wow.
It was life-changing, and I basically said to her, "I'll get you anything," because I'm an American mom and I have an American Express card. Like, "What do you want? I'll get you anything." And she gets this big smile on her face and she goes, "A bed." And I'm like, "Cool. Where's Target Jungle out here,
But let me ask you though. So you have that experience. You come back to LA, and then what?
Yeah, I had a little Africa party when I got back, and I said, "Girlfriends," because all my girlfriends were calling me, "Was it real? Did you get malaria?" And I said, "Listen, we're going back, and forget move that bus. We're doing land that plane extreme village makeover. Are you in?" And so we started just flying to all these different villages, and which obviously ended up with my husband and I starting an organization called skip1.org, where we want everybody on the planet to skip one thing once in your life for the sake of someone else.
Let me ask you, on that skip1.org, what are some of the most heartwarming things that you've heard people skip, and what for?
It's awesome. You can go on there and read them. There's a little girl who skipped her tooth fairy money. There's a woman on there right now who's skipping cancer. I mean, she's dying of cancer. Let's get serious. But every time she has a chemo treatment, her tribe of friends will donate at skip1.org. And when I got a chance to speak with her, she said, I just didn't want to waste my cancer. See,
Wow.
love like that is heroic. When we love people like that, it splashes over onto everyone around us and it creates ripples. See, these children that we're helping to bring food and clean water to their village aren't dying of cancer or AIDS. They just need a meal. And so here this woman, she's like an angel. She decided to skip cancer. It's I get so encouraged every time I go on the skip1.org site just reading people's skips all over the world, all over the world. It's crazy.
So the message of your book, Love, Skip, Jump, is love someone deeply enough to skip something important for you.
Well, that's one element of it. I mean, the book is filled with over 30 stories about times when I said yes to God and jumped in and how that rippled into other people's lives and came full circle by the end of the book that I never in a million years would have thought would happen. But I definitely think, just like it says in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave, that he gave. I want to be a giver. You're never going to regret that in your life. I'm never going to regret being known as someone who is willing to give my time, my love, my resources. I mean, the one thing every listener on your show right now, we all have in common is 86,400 seconds a day. Rich, poor, tall, thin, it doesn't matter. We all get 86,400 seconds. And how am I going to invest that today?
Well, Shelene, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us the thoughts from your book, Love, Skip, Jump. Start living the adventure of yes. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.